Hi guys, so this is our second video. We just thought we'd do a bit of a kind of who we are and what our training's like and what we're trying to do, and yeah, just kind of on a personal level, I suppose. So yeah, I suppose I'll start with myself. My name is Elaine Finnegan, for those who don't actually know me. I'm originally from Ashburn, but we live in Santry now. I used to play football growing up and stuff, but I was never I wouldn't have been the fittest or anything like that. Then a couple of years ago, I stumbled across, it was actually pictures of Donna Brennan, my now teammate, which I suppose is pretty cool to say, who had just done absolutely amazing in her first show, and her pictures were just absolutely so surreal. I just kind of thought that I'd love to do that. And a couple of years later down the line, I did actually manage to get in touch with her coach, who is now my coach, and yeah, kind of just went from there. I fell in love with bikini bodybuilding as a sport. I think that's just what happens to so many people, kind of once you do it once, you just fall absolutely in love with it, and that's how I got started with it, and I just can't wait to keep continuing and growing. So I know Stephen's story is a bit different. So
yeah, for me, kind of a couple of things happened. I was playing sports a lot growing up. Played football, actually played badminton at a very high level, which is something that people always kind of find a bit funny. Played for Leinster, was on the Irish squad at underage level, under 15s, under 17s. So I always played sport and always had kind of an interest in fitness. But basically how I ended up getting into bodybuilding kind of happened by accident, because I was training to do the marathon in, I think it must have been probably 2010, which is kind of depressing to think it was that long ago at this stage, when I actually worked in the same Elveries that I'm now the manager of. I was working there part-time while I was in college, and because I was in charge of the kind of footwear area and I was really into the running shoes and stuff, I was doing a lot of running, and just basically kept getting injured. Got to the point where I could run for about 20 minutes and then not be able to walk for a couple of days. Just not built to do that. So I started doing more training in the gym, and one of the girls that worked with me in the shop, her brother had competed a couple of times, and she kind of said to me, she was like, you should do it, and it was always kind of in the back of my head, but I never really took it that seriously for a couple of years after that, and then eventually started competing when I lived over in Canada. So I did my first show, I think it was 2012, I think was my first one. Might have been 2013, I can't even really remember at this stage. But yeah, I've taken a little bit of time off now. Looking back at some of my pictures from previous shows, I didn't really come in with the kind of condition that I would have liked to. So the plan now is to kind of do nationals in October, which I think we said is what, 20 odd weeks away. So we're both kind of trying to do that together, which is going to be
testing.
Yeah.
Stephen kind of thinks that it's going to be I suppose easier because we're both doing it together, but I don't know. I think that I'm a little bit worried that we might actually kill each other. A little bit less tolerant of each other, I suppose, but no, I think we'll get through. We're a good team. So
a lot of you might know that I had planned on doing the Spring Classic earlier this year, and basically I went with a very different approach to what I'd ever done before. I've always been very much kind of 12-week prep, very much case of off season, then straight into the prep, and no kind of in between. Didn't tend to live that lean all year round, and usually ended up with quite a lot to lose going into the shows. When I took the time off after my last show, which was the NABA Nationals in 2014, after that I kind of decided that I think it would be easier for me to kind of live that bit leaner and be a bit more comfortable with my look all year round, because personally I think it's hard, you're telling people, oh yeah, I'm a bodybuilder, when really you kind of just look like a fat guy. It doesn't give the greatest impression of being healthy or fit when you're walking around 20 kilos over what your stage weight might be. So basically what I did was I was coming in, I started the prep 17 weeks out at the start of the year, with my good friend Mark Hodson, so shout out to him, winner of the juniors this year, in the Spring Classic. We basically started at the same time. Now Mark had probably more work to do, and he did so very, very well.
He couldn't really have done much better.
Yeah, and he timed it perfectly.
Perfection, yeah.
Whereas I told myself 17 weeks is probably twice as much as I need, so I'll do half as much work and then I'll just cruise into it.
I think in theory it sounded okay, but it just didn't work out like that.
I basically found myself at 12 weeks out with my glutes starting to come in, my weight down to, I was pushing to get to the 75 kilo category. I got to just broke under 80. My glutes had started coming in, and I was wondering, what am I going to do? Where is 5 kilos more going to come from, and how am I going to keep this for another 3 months?
It was lovely to be around.
Yeah. So basically it got to 9 weeks out, and I knocked it on the head.
We did talk about it. It was a big decision, and we had thought about it we talked about it a few times before we actually kind of, it was a decision. Yeah,
it was a tough decision, but like I kind of got to the point where I just wasn't happy with how I was treating people. I was miserable, and I kind of think that I'm not ever gonna say that I think a bodybuilding prep should be easy all the way through, but I think that amount of time to be miserable for is too long. If it had been 3 or 4 weeks to go and I felt like that, we would have pushed through. But yeah, 9-10 weeks, it's not worth that.
Not sleeping, and it was bad.
Yeah, and I mean, it meant I was starting to struggle in work as well, which is just not okay. I mean, there's more important things.
So in terms of me and Stephen as a couple, we're together 7 months now. Yeah. I don't really know if it seems like longer or less. It's weird. So much has happened. Like, I don't remember not being with them, if that makes any sense.
So sweet.
No, it all just happened so fast. Like, we went on first date
on a Monday.
Yeah, we went for just Aussie barbecue, and then we went for coffee, and then the Wednesday.
Yeah, I'd been out with my sister on the Wednesday, and I think I had a week off work or something.
Yeah.
I had a week off work, and I'd met up with my sister, and she drove me home. She was meeting one of her friends, and
Jen takes a lot of pride in this.
Yeah, definitely. I was just telling her about Elaine, and she was super impressed. Basically that it just sounded like this was exactly what I've been looking for so long, and she said, give her a text tonight, see if she's doing anything tonight, and go hang out or whatever. We did. Then after that night,
it's really funny, Stephen was saying, because I was walking up to meet him, and I was actually like, I think I'd had a really long day or something. I just texted him, and I was like, look, just let me know I'm in track. He's like,
yeah,
he was like, gold.
yeah. I'd been in. I'd put on jeans and all for it, and.
Me slacking.
I'm not a fan of wearing jeans. So that I had put on jeans twice in the 1 week was pretty much a pretty big deal.
Making an effort.
Yeah, definitely. You knew she was pretty important if I had to do that. So we met up on the Wednesday. Then we made plans for the Saturday, wasn't it?
Sunday.
We went to the Natalia Mello Classic. That was that Saturday, wasn't it?
Yeah, God, there was so much in 1
week.
Yeah,
so that we made plans then between the Wednesday and the weekend, and we went went for breakfast at Yogism Protein Pancakes.
Good times.
Yeah, really, really good.
It was really nice though to go to, because a lot of my teammates were competing in the Natalia Mello Classic, and just put it out there, I didn't qualify, so I had to go and watch. But no, it was amazing to see them. But it was really nice to go with Stephen and not to have to drag him, if that makes any sense. Like, he kind of, and he understood it, and he knew, and he had his own interest in it, and it was really, really nice. It was kind of weird from there. Like, he kind of met my teammates and met my coach and stuff that day, and it just kind of felt like,
people were already like, oh, can you get your boyfriend to send me on these pictures
Emma.
and stuff.
Stephen took a photo of one of my teammates, Emma, with Natalia Mello, and she sent me a message later, and she was like, oh, you get your boyfriend to send me that picture? And we were like,
and I was like, you should tell her it's not official yet.
Well, this is awkward.
But then basically we spent the Sunday together as well, and
kind of never went home since.
Yeah, pretty much.
We were living together within,
like, I mean, we said officially that was what, the middle of October.
January.
Yeah, we said January, but
I gave them about 6 weeks in. Stephen asked me if I want to move in with him. And
now at that stage,
people thought we were nuts. Like, they did. And looking back, actually, because I was like, it's not that weird. But looking back, if someone I think told me they'd met someone, they were moving in with them after 6 weeks, I'd be like, what?
But then, that being said, when I asked, when I said it to my roommate, and his name's Stephen as well, Stephen, and his now fiance Anna had just moved in here a few weeks before that, and I just said to Stephen, I'm gonna ask Elaine to move in with me, and he said, you know what? We were just saying this morning, that girl is paying rent in her own house for no reason. Yeah. And I was like, well, she may as well pay some of ours. So
me and Anna laughed about it though. It was just over a year ago, you and Stephen got this apartment.
Yeah.
And it was like the bachelor pad, and maybe, a lad's crib.
And then 2 weeks later, he got his girlfriend. And
they both fell in love, and now we live here.
Yeah. But we wouldn't change it. It's perfect.
It's perfect. Like, it just works. So we are only together 7 months, but like you said, so much has happened. Like, and it just feels right.
I mean,
we knew from quite early on. I remember I rang my sister after. It was one of the first days I'd been out with him, like probably the Wednesday, I don't even know. But I rang my sister and I kind of said to her, I was like, I think this is the one, like. And she was like, what? Coming from me, like. Because I mean, I've been single for a long time, and it's just the way it's been. Kind of training is important to me, and
this is going to be pretty embarrassing looking back on if we do break up.
I know, cringy.
This will be the first one to go.
I just knew. I knew from kind of early on. And I think Stephen was the same, so we just went with it.
I think we were sitting here one of the evenings. It was very, very early on, within a week or so, and we were just watching TV, and we were both sitting here, like, drinking protein shakes, watching TV, and I was just thinking, this is all I've ever really wanted, it's perfect. So yeah,
I think everyone who kind of knew us was very supportive of it. I think outside people probably thought we were a bit crazy, but I mean, I remember I told my parents, I did tell them via text message, I will say, an oldie but a goodie. But no, they were both really supportive, and my dad and my stepmom, and they both just said, once you are happy and you're looking after each other and you're in it for the right reasons, then why wouldn't you? And that was it. I mean,
I think, like, it's been,
worst that could have happened, like.
It's been very kind of easy for us. It hasn't been a huge amount of work. Everything just kind of seems quite natural. Just like Elaine was saying there, we met the week after Nationals, so that would have been the start of last October, second week of October last year. Just to clear up, Elaine wanted to just make it clear to some people about, because it's something that gets said to her a lot.
All the time. Anytime I meet new people. I started a new job actually a while back, and everybody's like, oh, your boyfriend's a bodybuilder, that's why you compete. And I'm like, no. I did it before I ever met him. It's probably a huge part of the reason why we actually did meet and why we are together. But and we've said it, like, if we ever were to go our separate ways, we would both continue on the same journey. And
Absolutely.
This is not something that is just for show, and I don't do it to please Stephen. I do it because I love this sport, and I did it before I ever knew.
And I think that's it. Like, I mean, it definitely, gave us a huge amount more in common that, you know, made it easier for us.
I think it's just I don't know, it's what I always wanted. I just wanted to meet someone who I could just have this lifestyle with, because we don't go out drinking, and we don't, do you know what I mean?
There is space
boring,
for that.
but...
Yeah, there is space for that. Like, I mean, and there are times, but I don't know. I think that, like, we both work a lot, and you know, bodybuilding's expensive as well. Kind of think, like, you know, you go on a night out and you spend £100, and that's a lot of food and a lot of supplements and stuff. So and, you know, kind of miss training sessions and stuff like that. There are times. I mean, we're not going to be the kind of people that are going to be like, oh well, sorry, can't go to your wedding, or can't come to your baby's christening, or can't come to your birthday because have legs scheduled in at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. That's not the way it's going to be. But we just don't really have the time. Yeah, time more than anything, I think. Yeah. Just in terms of the way we do things, I mean, since we've gotten together, something that we talk about a lot is we have quite different approaches in terms of diet. And I mean, if you follow us on our social media, you'll probably see, I don't know how many times it's been said to me, don't know how you stay in shape when you eat those big bowls of all those crazy things, all the things you're eating, you know, with, you know, the flex bowls with, like, 5 different types of cereal and loads of chocolate and Oreos and stuff in it. Realistically, like, I do follow you know, a flexible dieting approach, but it's within reason. One of the things that I've kind of learned is I know my body quite well, so I'll be able to tell within a day or two, not even just from the scales, but from the mirror. I'll be able to tell when I'm gaining fat, or if I'm, you know, not eating enough or eating too much when I flatten out, or you know, look like I'm starting to spill over, whatever it is. I can tell quite quickly, and I will adjust based on that. But those big pictures of those crazy cheat meals that you might see, they're not really cheat meals because they fit in. They're normally, you know, right after a workout, or you know, I might have had something happening that day which would have meant that I'd be under on my calories so far, or I might, you know, have dropped a lot of weight and I'd just be having a bit of a refeed. It's not a case of eating crap all the time. For the most part, we eat a lot of chicken and rice too, and I mean, it doesn't make us miserable. I mean, I think some people think that chicken and rice again. Chicken and rice is pretty nice. Yeah. It's alright. Like, there's worse things you could have, you know. Elaine tends to have like, especially during prep.
My preps are quite strict, like, and it's just the way we do things, and it's kind of, you know, it's what works. Like, you know, extremely clean. I don't cheat at all during my preps in terms of, like, you know, I wouldn't have protein bars, like, to the extent a lot of time I wouldn't even have dairy, like, just kind of, I suppose, what works. My metabolism is quite fast, so I think that's something you just have to take it as it comes. Every prep is going to be different, and I'm just going to have to, and I know with my coach, I'm just going to have to sit down and just see what's working, see what's not working, and change it up as we go.
And assess it on a week-to-week basis.
That's
I
it.
think.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to keep in
always
mind.
Changing.
Yeah, we got to keep in mind as well that, like, obviously I'm going to be eating more than Elaine is. I'm walking around. I'm 30 kilos heavier, so. I mean, that's more than half her weight again on top of that. So, like, I mean, my needs are going to be more.
Though, I have to say. Yeah, so I think we'll just leave it at that. We'll try and get another video up. Like, we'll keep them kind of as regular as we can. It's kind of hard with the hours we work and things like that, but we get them
aiming for
done.
One a week, pretty much.
If you're looking to keep up to date with what we're getting up to in between videos, I suppose. I mean, we have our social medias. I'm Elaine at Monkey Fitness on Instagram. I run the at Monkey Fitness Diaries on Facebook, and my Snapchat, which I'm only starting to kind of get active on, is Elaine at Monkey. So that's my tree, and Stephen has his own ones as well.
Yeah, I'm not big on the Snapchat, so
he's in mine a lot though.
Yeah, follow Elaine's because you'll see me plenty in that. other than that, Stephen Dunn Fitness on Facebook and at Stephen Dunn on Instagram. Spelled a little bit differently, so the links are going to be below, so check those out. And we will talk to you again soon. Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.